Greetings, Summit Academy. I hope you're all doing well today. So, in today's lesson, I wanted to, kind of um, go on the path of an important life skill to know. Now, I mean, life skills can range in a multiple variety of ways, but this life skill, I kind of want to show more along the lines of calculating a sales tax. And then next week, we'll talk about calculating a discount. Both are pretty much something that is really important to know in the future because we are always consumers in this world. We always will buy things, and when we buy certain things, there is a tax to them. You get charged a sales tax. Now, there are some things like food that you don't get charged sales tax with. Like when you go to the grocery store and buy just food items, you don't get sales tax on. But like if I went and bought a new video game or a pair of shoes, things like that, I will be charged a sales tax for it. So, with that being said, I pulled up, this is the map of Ohio to show you not all sales taxes are the same. Depending on where you are at, you are going to have a different sales tax. So, and they break them down by what's the counties of Ohio. There are actually 88 counties in Ohio. And if you take a drive somewhere and you end up in a certain county, you're going to pay a certain tax. Now, there's a lot of these counties in blue. And the blue means that the sales tax is 7.25%. There's another good majority in green. It's 7%, except for Allen is different at 6.85%, which is weird. But then you have some other ones that are just different. The lowest ones you'll see are 6.5%, and just kind of depending on where we're going and where we're seeing, we will go from there. Now, obviously, we are primarily Lucas County, being Summit Academy Toledo. So if I was to, this is where we're at here in Lucas County in Toledo, and I buy something, I'm going to pay a sales tax of 7.25%. Now, as opposed to Wood County, if I just go down a little bit, cross the Maumee River, I will be, and then I'm in a place of Perrysburg and Bowling Green, place like that. I'm in Wood County, which means if I go buy something, I actually pay a sales tax of 6.75%. Now, I know you're thinking, Mr. W, yeah, it's a different price. It's a different comparison of that. And, obviously this one's a lot lower than this guy. But why does it really matter? It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, kind of is. And I'll definitely point that out as we are going into just two questions that relate to a sales tax. Okay? So, here we go. As always, I like to do the erasing because that's just how it goes, because it'll just pop up the same way. All right, here we go. Back at it here. So in order to look at the sales tax, we have to find it in three ways, okay? The rate is usually given as a percent. To find the tax, we have to multiply the rate as a decimal, if you will, by the original price. To find the total cost, add the tax to the original price. So, and we'll talk about the proper terminologies there. So, again, let's look at number 5, for example, okay? Number 5 says if a sales tax rate is 7.25%, and we're going to say OHIO, how much would you pay? And then we're going to, and we, of course, we know it is Toledo. So the sales tax rate, 7.25% in Ohio. How much would I pay if I bought a pair of shoes in Toledo that cost me $39? Okay, well, in order to first think about this, we have to look at this 7.25%, okay? 7.25% needs to be converted into a decimal, or P to D, okay? Percent to decimal. You can do the other round with decimal to percent. Now, to do that effectively, you would actually have to divide by 100. And then to get from D to P, you would end up multiplying by 100. So in most of these cases, we're going to convert the percent to a decimal. So when I do that, I divide it by 100. And we're going to have some more fun math here. So what does that look like? I can take this one of two routes. 7.25 divided by 100. So I can look at one of two ways. If I actually plug it in, I can actually put this in a calculator and I can get my answer there. This is true. This makes sense as always, because obviously we do have a calculator in our pocket. It's called our cell phones. So another route we can think about though is that we take this 7.25 divided by 100 and notice the decimal place here. And I'm actually going to do this in a different color so it helps out here. So notice my decimal here, right? When I divide a number, and you see this beautiful 100, or I have a 10 or 1,000, anything like that, these are the things we love to see, this scientific notation looking style, okay? So when I do that, I'm actually going to take my decimal and move it 1, 2 spaces to the right. And then I get my 0 here, and then I put a 0 there, put my decimal there, my new decimal goes there, and then boom, look at that. My new answer is 0.0725. So there you go. And obviously, and then to make sure everything's fine there, I could just take that 0.725. If I multiply that by 100 again, I would get the 7.25. So that checks. So again, to get from the percent to the decimal, I just divided it by 100. And then I get my own answer. Or I just move my decimal 2 spaces over to the left. Because we are dividing it, we're going to actually break down the number more. All right, so now we know this, so we need to say, okay, so our cost of the shoes was $39, so 39 times, 0.0725, okay? So making sure we have that decimal there is very important because when we, and I always encourage use of a calculator because when we type that in a calculator, as I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take 39 times 0.0725. I'm going to get 2.8275. All right, look at that. So far, you're like, Mr. W, wait a minute. What? In any money amount, you notice how I have 39.00, 0.00 there? Well, it's going to end up being $2. I'll try to make my little money. That's a terrible money mark. I apologize. But $2, and then I have 82 cents so far, okay? Anything after that can't really exist when it comes to money amount. But the one thing we can do is round up the number. And rounding up the number in the hundredths place. Say it with me, folks, hundredths place. So after I have a decimal, this is the twos and the ones place, decimal, and then I have tenths, hundreds, thousands, so on, okay? So I always look to my hundreds place, and then if I have anything else extra, I look next door. I see it's a 7, and the rules of rounding, 5 or bigger, you add 1 more. So that becomes 2.83, okay? So my new rounded number is $2.83. So by buying a pair of shoes for $39 after the tax, that tax is going to cost me an additional $2.83. Okay? So now, let me just kind of erase the part here on the side. And then what I'm going to do is then have $39 plus $2.83 there. This is what I call a subtotal. A subtotal is basically when you have all your items added up. In this case, we'll only just have the one thing, just the shoes. So sometimes if we go out and get a lot of stuff, everything added up first is what's called the subtotal. Once we calculate the sales tax and then add that in, I'm going to get 83, decimal spot goes appropriately there, $41.83. This is my total now. Okay, that is the total. Okay, so once again, going back here, we knew that the sales tax is 7.25%. I bought a pair of shoes. It cost me $39, so I took that 39, multiplied it, but I had to figure out, well, I can't say 7.25%. I mean, if I had a calculator, you definitely can. I mean, that's not saying that you can't, but sometimes it's hard. Sometimes students don't remember to hit that percent button on their calculator, and it gets you a really high number. So just convert the percent to the decimal. It'll make your life a lot easier. And again, that's just dividing it by 100, or just taking this decimal and moving it 2 spaces to the left. When I did this, I ended up getting a 2.8275, but I can't keep it that way. I had to round up the hundredths place. So that 82 became 83. So what happens there is then I take that $39, because that's my subtotal, add that to the 283, which is my tax, and then I ended up with a total price of those pairs of shoes for $41.83. Okay, now this next part I'm not going to do every step like we did with this other one because it'll take a little bit more time. But I wanted to show you guys before, because you're going to notice that there is a different sales tax in the other one, and it's much lower than the sales tax above. And this is where, when going somewhere, is going to help you out maybe just a little bit more, especially if you make a really big purchase. Buying a car, in the next example, is going to have a huge impact on your total cost, depending on where you buy it from. Okay, so let me show you that right now. Okay, so the car. Okay, it said the price of the new car was $29,990. If the sales tax is 6.5%, how much sales tax is being charged? And then, of course, what would be the total cost? So again, I mean, we could talk about the total cost in the end, and that way we have the right answer and all. But I want to show you the comparison here. All right, this 6.5%, and let's say versus the 7.25%. Okay. All right, and this is when it matters a lot. So let's just first off know, we knew that 7.25% as a decimal is 0.0725. If I go 6.5, I'm just going to move my decimal 2 spaces over, because I divided it by 100, and I get a new decimal of 0.065. Okay, let's compare that. Okay, we're going to ignore number 7 stuff. I'm just because I need to have some space to write it down in. So let's take 29,900. It's too big there. 990 times 0.065 versus that 29,990 times 0.0725. Okay, let's look at that. So if I plug that in my calculator, so I get my calculator and I type that in, 29990 times 0.065, I get $1,949.35. And perfect. It's 35 cents. There's no need for me to round up or anything like that. It came out perfectly that way. Now let's look at the 29,990 times 0.0725. I end up with $2,174. And then it comes up as 0.275. So I'm just going to do the rounding up here just so it's ready to go. But it would round up to 0.28 or 28 cents. Okay. Look at that, folks. Look at this. All right. Now, again, in a different color, look at these two price differences. Okay. Look at that. So by getting the car in one place, I'm only going to pay $1,949.35. But if I got my car, let's say I went to, now I know it would be a little bit more in Wood County, but let's just pretend at the moment this was the Wood County tax versus the Toledo tax, okay? Or the Lucas County, I should say. Okay? This would just be slightly more. Not too much more, but slightly more. So I went and I got a car in Perrysburg versus getting a car in, let's say, Maumee. Why I would compare those two places? Because they are literally on the border of each other. Maumee is Lucas County, Perrysburg is Wood County. So just by going to a different city that's not as far away, I'm going to pay a completely difference of the sales tax versus what I would pay in another. So how much of a difference is that? You can take these two numbers and then subtract those by each other. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. And always when you subtract, start with the bigger number. So $2,174.28 minus, hang on one second, folks, the calculator's acting up. All right, $2,174.28 minus $1,949.35. Oh boy. That, folks, is a difference of $224.93. That is a lot. And I know what you're thinking. Mr. W, does it really matter? Does it really make that much of a difference? Well, think about that, though, folks. That's $224.93. That's a lot of money. If you're taking a loan out to get this car, that's basically pretty much almost your car payment right there. You could be paying one less car payment just by driving down a little bit further, or just by going out just a little bit further to get your vehicle. Again, I know, but again, sometimes it just deals with how the deal goes, things like that. So again, there's always a lot of hypothetical variables when it comes to this. Maybe you end up getting the car for $3,000 cheaper in the Maumee place than you would in the Perrysburg place. I mean, that can always be a thing. But again, we're just kind of speaking more in the situation that if I went to get something that cost the exact same amount, how much of a difference it would be going to a different county. So in this lesson, we just basically looked at how we calculate a sales tax and then adding that to our subtotal to get our actual total in the first problem. But then the next one, we were looking at how, because we saw in the map of Ohio, how these different sales tax percentages can impact your buying. So again, sometimes, if you're going, like if we talk about the shoe price, obviously that $39 pair of shoes, when you're looking at the 6.5 versus 7.25, isn't really going to matter. It's not really going to break the bank as much. But when you're talking about a really big purchase, like an almost $30,000 car, that sales tax price is huge. Look at that huge difference. And that, again, that's not that much of a percent difference, folks. And look how much you would be saving by going to the place that offers a lower sales tax. You're saving $224.93. So, again, just kind of more of a fun lesson to have on this Friday. When this video is uploaded, it will be Friday. And again, it's just another fun life skill to have and to know that also integrates math skills that we have maybe seen before in the past. But just something that has been, but again, something that you will actually take away when you are out there, graduate from high school and you're making purchases and things like that. This has an impact. So I just kind of wanted to bring this nice, fun life lesson to you all. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, thank you once again, Summit Academy. You are all amazing people. I hope you're all doing well. And together we can get through this. Okay? Take care and have a great day. Bye bye.